What's up, guys? Nick Wright. So I've received a ton of questions asking me about what I want to do as far as bodybuilding goes. Am I going to continue competing in bodybuilding? Some people are like, why don't you change your name to NWP, Nick Wright Powerlifting, since all my videos on powerlifting, and also what are my plans as far as powerlifting goes. So I'm going to sum up what my plans for everything competitively is and which way I'm going right now. First off, I do plan on competing in a powerlifting meet. Okay, powerlifting is definitely the next chapter of my life. I will always be a bodybuilder, and I always have bodybuilding very active within my life. And I would like to jump back on stage and obtain my natural pro card down the line, for sure. But right now, powerlifting is what has caught my eye for a number of different reasons. One, it's really, really fun to simply have a solid numerical criteria that judges you within your sport. Okay, bodybuilding is very, very subjective to the judge's opinion, basically. There's no clear black or white guideline to go by. And I don't like that. I missed the athleticism that I lacked in bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is definitely not a sport. It's an art form, perhaps, but really it's like a male beauty pageant. And I'm saying this having competed in 8 shows since I was 15 years old. So clearly I love competing in bodybuilding, but I'm being honest, it's not a sport. And I miss the athleticism in it, and I miss the clear-cut criteria, and powerlifting has that. You either deadlift 600 pounds or you did not deadlift 600 pounds in your weight class. And the only red lights you can hit are pretty clear-cut things. Did the bar travel the opposite way as you were pulling it up? Did you hitch? Did you stall too long? Did you not press on the command? It's pretty cut and dry stuff. So I miss the athletic part of that. That's why powerlifting caught my eye. Also, guys, I've simply loved lifting heavy all my life. There's a reason bodybuilders like Ronnie Coleman was my favorite, because he was not only jacked as a bodybuilder, but he was strong as hell too. I mean, that's why Jonathan Irizarry is my favorite current amateur bodybuilder, because he's jacked, but he's really, really strong too. So strength has always been a huge thing to me, and there's no greater high than being able to lift really heavy. And quite honestly, guys, when you get into the power training aspect, there is nothing that is more fun than being able to go and hit the big 3 and have that be the focus of your workout twice in a week. That is, oof, I love it. And of course, the powerlifting routine that I'm on does allow me to hit muscle hypertrophy so I can continue making them gains every single day. Like I said, I do want to carry bodybuilding with me. Now, well, I'll sum it up for you guys. I plan on doing a powerlifting meet this fall of 2014, basically the end of 2014. This fall, right after summer ends, I want to do a powerlifting meet. I'm putting it out right now. I do plan on doing one. No ifs, ands, or maybes. And from there, I want to continue competing in powerlifting. So you guys are watching my journey into becoming a powerlifter, and my goal is to one day become something great, hold records. So I know I have a long way to go, but that's what I want to do. I'm determined to do that. I was determined to achieve what I've achieved in bodybuilding so far, and I did all of it. I'm determined to do this in powerlifting now. So you guys are watching my journey. Why don't I change my name to NWP? Guys, that'd be incredibly arrogant. One, I've never even done a single powerlifting meet, and 2, I'm weak as hell compared to a lot of competitive powerlifters. That would be the most arrogant thing in the world. I'm not a powerlifter yet. I'm training to become a powerlifter. I'm an aspiring powerlifter. I'm doing powerlifting training, but this is not Nick Wright Powerlifting. I'm a baby asking questions in the powerlifting realm. So let's move on though. What about bodybuilding? Quite honestly, guys, I don't have a major urge to compete again. Does that mean I'm not going to? No. I'm going to compete again, I imagine, but right now I don't have a major urge to. Part of it is simply just because I've done so many shows from such a young age, so, you know, got a little tired of it and I wanted something different, whatever. But the other part of it is, guys, honestly, the bodybuilding industry is down the drain. Bodybuilding as a sport is dying, I think. Physique's taking over. But bodybuilding, guys, it's just a nasty environment now. And what I mean by that is, I've always said that the basic psychology of bodybuilders has allowed for bodybuilding to become a very nasty, petty arena. But it's gotten even worse nowadays, especially with the internet. Look at it like this. Bodybuilders are people that begin very self-conscious about their self-image. They either begin too fat or too skinny. And from there, they achieve these amazing physiques, but it's all driven off of this insecurity and this body dysmorphia. And the biggest mistake bodybuilders make, and I'm guilty of this too in the past, I've done this as well, is they put all of their value into their physique. Probably because they viewed it as their one and only flaw within themselves, but they put all their value into their physique. So instead of developing as a person and achieving that self-confidence, that comfort within yourself as an actual person, they just look to their physique to validate them. So what you're left with is these big animals with the most amazing aesthetic jacked physiques in the world who still have the mentality of that insecure little skinny 14-year-old boy or overweight chubby kid that they began with. So they end up taking this insecurity out and this inferiority complex out on everybody else around them. So you have these jacked animals who should be guiding new lifters and helping everybody out and spreading positivity because they've achieved this level of eliteness, instead putting down and shutting down and shitting on everybody else in the sport. I mean, you look at someone like Boston Lloyd. Boston's one of my boys. He's an awesome person in person, but his Facebook persona, he's an absolute dick, right? You all know that. He goes and calls out everybody. All he does is talk trash out of his ass left and right. Now, he admits that he does most of that just to get a rise on Facebook. It gets attention, right? But sadly, that is how majority of bodybuilders think and act. They may not be as verbally expressive about it on social media, but that's how a lot of them act. And proof is right in the pudding, guys. First off, let me backtrack. When I first contacted Johnny Candido about getting into powerlifting, first thing he told me is, I think you're going to really love powerlifting. He goes, it's a much more positive, supportive arena than bodybuilding. And I had no idea how right he was. I get into powerlifting, and these are animals. Think about it. Powerlifters are literally the strongest breed, at least as far as power goes, of human beings. And these guys have a lot to brag about. These guys are pulling 900 pounds. You are physically pulling 900 pounds off the ground and lifting it up with your raw strength. Or equipped strength, I guess, sometimes. What do bodybuilders have to brag about, really? If you really think about it, you look good. Okay, my girlfriend looks good when she puts makeup on, but what do looks do? Why you can't fight, you can't run, you can't lift that heavy. And I'm saying this as a competitive bodybuilder for 8 years. Bodybuilders don't have much to brag about, yet they seem to carry the biggest egos and attack the most out of anybody. It's all that insecurity. It's because that's still that 14-year-old skinnier fat kid mentally chiming in through a bigger physique now. But I got into powerlifting, and he was dead right. These big-ass, strong-ass powerlifters who I expect to kind of laugh me off end up reaching out and being so supportive. And you know what, guys? The proof is in the pudding. Take a minute to look at all of my YouTube comments. You're going to find a mix of very positive and supportive comments. You're going to find constructive criticism, which is absolutely welcomed. And then you're going to find, of course, the nasty negative put-downs. That's how it goes. It's always how it goes. But I want you to look at the nasty negative put-downs. What are they all talking about? You're going to notice there's one thing that they all have in common. They're almost all of them referring to my physique in some way, shape, or form. All the nasty put-downs are either about how fat I am, how disproportionate I am, how I don't have enough of this muscle, I have too much of that muscle, how I'm unbalanced here, shitty genetics for bodybuilding, blah, 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 blah. The point is, the trend, with the one thing all the nasty negative put-downs all have in common is they're all attacking the looks. They're all about the physique, the visual looks of the physique. You'll notice you don't see any or almost any negative put-downs talking about my lifting. Okay, so you'll never see a powerlifter going, oh, dude, you're weak on that lift. Oh, you should be lifting more on that lift. Oh, your technique sucked on that lift. Oh, you didn't go deep enough on that lift. No. You notice how the insults are never about my lifts? At the very most, the worst thing you see about my lifts is somebody giving me some light constructive criticism on how they think I can improve my technique a little bit better, which is not negative at all. All the nasty-ass comments are coming from bodybuilders, and when I say bodybuilders, I'm including the entire genre of men's physique, the aesthetics crew, everybody who's about just the looks of the body. They're all coming from the visual bodybuilding side of the arena. All the nasty-ass put-downs. Not one nasty-ass put-down is actually ever about my weights, therefore it's never from an actual powerlifter. That's mind-blowing when I actually really started noticing the difference. All the nasty negativity comes from the bodybuilding side of life. And all the weightlifting genres, strongman, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, CrossFit, nothing negative ever comes from that side. It's all positive encouragement and support. So it goes to show you right there, guys, that bodybuilding in general, again, including the physique, aesthetics, that whole, just the visual sculpting of the body side of life, is really fueled heavily off of deep-ass insecurities that these bodybuilders never let go of when they first began lifting. And then they made the mistake of putting all their value into their physiques. Now they feel like it needs to be a pissing contest anytime they run into somebody else who does physique or bodybuilding, etc. So honestly, guys, I don't have a major interest to get into bodybuilding or compete in bodybuilding these days. When I first started competing, it was really fun because it was for me. And nowadays, it's really just signing up for a bodybuilding competition publicly. You're literally just signing yourself up to get a $5 plastic trophy and reamed either from the IFBB professional conditioning. These guys now expect you to come in even as a amateur teen natural bodybuilder, or you're going to get reamed just because they don't like the look of your face. I mean, and every reason in between. You don't see that in powerlifting. You don't see that in strongman or Olympic lifting. You don't see that in most other sports like that. It's just bodybuilding. So I don't really have a major urge to get back in bodybuilding. It's a nasty, negative sport. What I do enjoy doing is bodybuilding for myself. I love improving my physique. I love striving to perfect my symmetry, my size. I love what bodybuilding is about, just the essence of bodybuilding. Getting away from the whole industry side of it. So my goal right now is to excel in powerlifting. Definitely combine the two lifestyles. Perhaps you could call it power bodybuilding, like Michael Hearn does. So power bodybuilding is my goal. I'm always going to be Nick Wright bodybuilding forever. I can never get bodybuilding out of me. I can never be a powerlifter that loses his physique. I always have to have the bodybuilding physique being worked on at all times. But right now my main goal and focus is to compete only in powerlifting. For right now anyway. And my goals in powerlifting is to become a world record holding name to be reckoned with. That's my goal one day. So I'm going to keep working hard and document my journey towards it. In the meantime, guys, continue following because I will always have the bodybuilding lifestyle in my channel. The only difference is I don't have an urge to get on the bodybuilding stage for a while. So that is hopefully clearing a lot of things up for you guys. Love you all for the support. Thank you for being understanding.